Hey, welcome back. This is part 4 on our series on constructive feedback. We're going over 30 examples of constructive feedback, talking about the positive, negative, and inappropriate examples of feedback and what you can do about it as an individual and as an organization. This is hopefully to help you be able to give better feedback personally, receive feedback better, and know what to do when you get that crappy feedback that just is going to come. Today, we're talking about feedback about flexibility. Now, in previous videos, we've gone over that we're looking for 4 main things for good constructive feedback. We want to discuss the pain that is associated with what we're doing, right? Either the pain we're fixing, the pain we're causing, the consequences of that pain, the expectations from whoever's giving the feedback of what they expected, and ideas to improve, right? Those are the 4 things that make really good constructive feedback. And so we're looking for these in these examples. Not all of them are going to have each one of them, but we're just trying to identify as many as we can and talk about them. This should be about 2 minutes. Hopefully, it doesn't go much longer than that. But if you're at 12 minutes here, forgive me. All right. So first, feedback and flexibility. Oh, I forgot to mention we have other videos. This is part 4. You're able to check out more in the playlist of the rest of these. There's also the ones you may have missed. They're a little bit longer, but they go over some of these basics. This is meant to be very quick. So feedback about flexibility. All right. So appropriate positive examples of feedback about being flexible. Thank you for staying late recently. The work has really piled up, and we're really lucky to have a dedicated person like you on the team to help us reach the deadlines. Great. This is good examples. One, pain, right? Thanks for staying late. The pain was there was more work than could be done in the hours permitted in a normal day, right? The pain is there. It was expressed what you were fixing. The consequences of it was obviously that we got that work done. Now, it's kind of implied, it doesn't directly say, but it's still kind of there. The expectation actually is really nice here. I think it says like, thank you for staying late. The expectation is not necessarily that you're going to stay late, but that you'll be able to get your work done, and that occasionally you're going to be able to help out when it's easier, which is great, right? The expectation is that we'll reach the deadline. This is all really good here. The only thing it lacks is ideas to continue this, but positive feedback often lacks that. That's okay. Let's look at an appropriate negative feedback. So this is their example of what would be good negative feedback. We'll see how it stacks up for us. The deadlines are fast approaching, and I've noticed you haven't picked up any extra hours to help out. Ooh, I would like to see a little more flexibility from you to help us get this project done before deadlines. Ooh, okay. So the pain is we have a deadline that's approaching, and you haven't helped out, right? Like that's pretty clear pain. That's good. The consequence is not quite there, right? Like basically, maybe it should describe like because you haven't helped out, we're behind, and everybody else has done something or something like that. But the nice thing is at least the expectations are clear. I'd like to see more flexibility to help us get this project done. Deadlines, like it is very clear at the expectations. The idea kind of throws out the flexibility. Can I just say this is a crappy situation? That anytime an employee is asking you to work extra is kind of crappy, right? It means that somewhere along the line we haven't balanced deadlines, and obviously there's times where everybody needs to pitch in more. But this is really crappy feedback to be giving, regardless of where you're at. And in fact, let's look at the bad example here. You can't just leave when there's work to be done. Your colleagues are staying behind, so why aren't you? You need to be doing your bit. Like, as much as I want to harp on, hey, pain, consequences, expectation, ideas, to me, at the end of the day, this is just a crappy organization. Like, yes, there are times where everybody needs to do more. But at the end of the day, unless you are owning this organization, it's really hard for me to be critical of you not necessarily staying late. But then again, maybe that's the expectations. I don't know. This is an interesting one. I'd be curious of comments that people may have here. But for me, the feedback goes awry when you expect something that is outside of the norms of daily life. Like unless there is expectations that are very clear that we expect you to work or work late, you're on call, like those type of things, I completely get. Um, but taking on more work than you can, like that's a hard thing. I'm conflicting on all of this. It's kind of sucky, but I guess the feedback here, if we wanted to make it better, was, hey, we have more work than we can possibly get done. Everyone else is pitching in. If we don't get this work done, X, Y, Z, right? The consequences would be helpful, right? I don't think anybody is opposed to staying late if if we don't get this thing done, we then will, not have jobs. We'll be like, yeah, sure, give me the consequences, help me understand that. the expectations are pretty clearly laid out here, even if I don't agree with the expectations. Something that's lacking here in all of these examples is ideas of how you could improve this, right? So the idea could be, if it's around flexibility, like maybe it's not staying late, maybe it's coming in early. Like maybe there's other things here you could say, like, hey, everyone's putting a little more effort in. Could we brainstorm some ideas of where you could help out in this regard? Like, can you get down to the root cause? Is the root problem hours, or is the root problem work done? And this, again, kind of a crappy idea, or piece of feedback altogether. But if you can really get down to those, what are we talking about here? Is the root cause, how many hours I'm putting in, or is the root cause, going back to one of our previous videos, work ethic, and you're just not happy with the quality or quantity of the work that I'm getting done. So go back, try and really understand the pain, understand the consequences. What is this causing to have happen to my team and everybody else? What are the expectations? Although in this case, the expectations are pretty clear, and in my opinion, you should look for a different job. But there's an idea for you, and run with it. Hopefully, the next section of feedback is better. But hey, feedback about flexibility, sucks to give and sucks to receive. Just stick to those four things, and at least it'll make it a little more clear.